Welcome back, everyone. We are talking about the 9 weekly dividend ETFs from YieldMax today. And in this video, I'm going to review all 9 of them, talk about which one has the lowest distribution, the highest distribution, as well as the lowest total return and the highest total return. And at the end of the video, I'm going to rank these, tell you which ones I would personally buy and which ones I just would not touch at all. Okay, ready for this? Well, let's go. All right, so starting off with the headline news, which is that the average distribution rate on a weekly YieldMax dividend payer is 47.25%. That is a great number. That is something you cannot find in REITs. You cannot find it in bonds, not junk bonds. You cannot find it in most stocks. 47.25% is just the average. Look at the highest one, which is ULTY. So we'll just jump straight into that. The highest yielding weekly pair is ULTY at 85.21%. Remember, the ULTY strategy is basically the YieldMax managers there. They pick 30 or so stocks that are high volatility, could be like Robinhood, Coinbase, MicroStrategy, AppLovin. They write covered calls on that, and that generates income, which they pay to you. You guessed it, weekly. Now, the lowest distribution on this list came from this covered call ETF on the S&P 500. This does not actually hold any positions. SDTY actually just has options, and they're synthetic. So they have long exposure, but they really just write options on the index. But let's talk about some of these other yields, which I really liked, which was from LFGY, 65%. This is good. It comes from the crypto and tech ETF. LFGY holds crypto companies and tech ones and sells options on them. These are definitely high volatility names, so that's why you're getting that 65% yield. Now, also noteworthy was YMAX. YMAX is a fund of funds. So if you know the other YieldMax products like Misty, like Coney, like Tesla or whatever, all the ones that are single stock covered call ETFs, YMAX holds those. It holds about 30. And the nice thing is that if YieldMax keeps offering more of those covered call ETFs, then YMAX is going to hold more and you will get more diversification. But 55% is pretty good for YMAX. So I also listed out the number of holdings. I think it's important because if you want diversification, then you want more holdings. If you look at like these tech ones, they've only got 20 or so holdings. The Magnificent 7 obviously only has 7. And these synthetic ones don't actually hold anything. And YMAX, on the other hand, hold about 30 positions each. LFGY can range from 15 to 30. Next, we will look at total return, and we will sort that. So the lowest total return, good to see that it was in the positive, but it wasn't that high, which was this Nasdaq covered call ETF. That only had 1.14%. Highest return came from YMAG, and the average return was 16.33%. So 16% is definitely good, positive, double digits, and beating the S&P 500. But these funds have only been around since early 2024, and a lot just debuted this year in 2025 at the beginning of the year. I'm going to be doing more videos on this, probably providing more updates every month on this. We'll see. So definitely subscribe if you want to see more of that. And this number could definitely change. Might go up, might go down, but over the years, it's going to change. So who scored the highest on total return? Well, it was YMAG at 44%. Followed by YMAX and then CHPY. Interesting thing about CHPY is it's the only fund that had a positive NAV return. So everything else, their total return was only positive because of the distributions. CHPY had both distributions, 38%, and a good price return of about 14%. That was the only one where if you looked at the chart, and you didn't adjust for dividends, it was still up. Everything else was down. Now we'll look at which ones had the highest and lowest NAV return. The highest, like I said, was CHPY. Then the next highest was a negative one, so not even really worth talking. The big kind of news here, or maybe not news, but information to digest, is that ULTY was down minus 71%, YMAX down 36%, and LFGY down 30%. Now, of course, that is just price return in just the stock chart. But if you're going to go and Google ULTY, you're just going to see the price chart. If you go and Google YMAX, you just see that price dropping. Google doesn't really show you how to incorporate total return For that, I like to use TradingView. And we see that the average was down almost 21% just in NAV return. So why am I showing total return and NAV return when it's really total return that matters? Well, the NAV return I think is important to know because let's say you buy ULTY and you're expecting it to go up. You shouldn't. Look at the history. It's down 71% price-wise. Same with YMAX, down 36%. So if you go and buy YMAX and think, cool, I'm going to get a 55% distribution, or if you buy ULTY and you're like, I think I'm going to get an 85% distribution and it's going to go up, that's not going to necessarily happen. You have to look at what these ETFs actually do, and their price does tend to trend down, at least since inception, down 71, down 36, down 30, down 24. So it's just important to have that knowledge before you go out and buy these. Now we can sort these by size. We see that ULTY is the largest. I remember when this was under $1 billion. Now it's $3 billion. It's also nice to see YMAX in the $1 billion club. YMAG is the next highest at $382 million. And everything else is pretty small. I mean, LFGY, almost $200 million. But these other ones, these other 5, don't even crack $100 million. As far as which ones have been around the longest, it has been YMAX. That's one of the reasons I like it. ULTY in second place. And then CHPY is the baby of the group, April 2025. All right, guys, so let's see how I ranked these. So the winner, in my mind, the one that I think is the best is YMAX. Reason being, it has a good distribution rate. The total return was also very solid at 37%. It's got a great AUM size, over $1 billion, and it's got the longest track record. In second place, and this was a very close second, was ULTY. Of course, I hold ULTY, so I'm biased, but 85% distribution. You can't beat it, at least not in the weeklies, at least not in these diversified ETFs. So that 85% definitely stands out. It also had a total return of 10.43% since inception, which is good. The NAV return definitely hurt, down 71% just in price. You got to be comfortable with that price chart if you are going to buy this. But the good thing is the AUM is growing, a lot of inflows to ULTY. Like I said, this used to be under $1 billion and it's got to $3 billion very quickly. So ULTY is my second place one. I also like the diversification. I like the diversification of YMAX too. 30 holdings is a good size for these kinds of ETFs. So for the next 3, I just put this comment, which is if you want yield and you want growth, mix it up with YMAX and crypto. If you were thinking about income and tech stocks, then maybe YMAX plus QQQ, or maybe go outside the YieldMax family and get QQQY. And then if you're looking for income plus exposure to AI, again, YMAX plus QQQ or QQQI. I think those might be better combinations than these ones, which are a little bit smaller, and you get that price decline, and you're just relying on total return. And most of that return is coming from the distributions. Now, for the last 4, I wouldn't even touch these. In my opinion, they are too small. I mean, I did like that CHPY had a positive return, both in total return and in NAV. That's good. But at 38% yield, if you are looking for income, you got 2 better options, in my opinion, which are ULTY and YMAX. So I wouldn't even touch these last 4. But what you should touch is that like button and that subscribe button. Thank you to everyone who's been commenting in the videos, making this a real community, liking the videos as well, and showing your appreciation. I myself, when I watch YouTube videos, I like to give it a like if I'm enjoying it, and I'll comment if I have something constructive to say, or just to encourage the creator to keep making the videos. So I definitely appreciate that. Thank you guys. I'll probably do another one of these updates maybe next week or maybe every month, and we'll see these numbers change and we can track the changes. So it'll be fun, and that's another reason to subscribe. So thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.